Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated if you're joining me on the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe. New goals, 3,000 subscribers. Let's go. I was all prepared to come on here and, talk about the football and how for some reason people really want Jameis Winston to be a bad quarterback, including the people who are paid to cover him on like either in the papers, publications, or even on the broadcast. And how the narrative behind him always seems to skew negative. Probably because people just don't like him. Probably because they hold the situation that he found himself in college against them. Whatever it might be, people have decided in their mind that they are just not going to give Jameis Winston his props. He won a game yesterday that a lot of other people might have lost. Couldn't get anything going through the running game. Wide receivers dropping the ball left and right. Only has one target to really throw to, and the defense starts double teaming him. Offensive linemen going down, some linemen coming back, not still fully healthy. Oh my God, obviously you're in Seattle. It's a tough place to win, right? Yeah. A lot of other people would have lost that game. And yet, all we kept hearing was about how Jameis this and Jameis didn't do that. And Jameis is high today. Jameis is throwing the ball a little high today. He seems to be off. That's what we heard. Jameis is throwing the ball a little high. He seems to be off. And then in the next breath, we heard, oh my gosh, this weather is crazy. This weather is nuts. Maybe that has something to do with it. No. Weather has nothing to do with how he's throwing the ball. He's just not doing it well. Okay, whatever. I was all prepared to come in and do 10 minutes on it and compare it to Carson Wentz. And I don't know if I'll ever get back to it. I probably will, because this inequity in how we cover black quarterbacks compared to their white counterparts is ridiculous. But I found out last night, right towards the end of the game, that a colleague, a guy who I considered a friend, even though we didn't talk all the time, we communicated a good amount through social media. A guy who I think is one of the really, really good guys in the world, Carey McCray, football coach down in Florida, worked at Leonard High School. Found out last night that he passed away. Coach McCray was a former defensive coordinator at John I. Leonard. He was the current girls flag football coach. He had a passion for girls flag like rare other coaches had. He understood the power that this sport has, and the fact that women had the ability to play it at a very high level. He believed in it. He backed it up. He spent his own money to make sure that young ladies had an opportunity to shine. And I found out last night that he passed away. From a random post from somebody. And I was floored because I had just saw him tweet the day before, and I believe it was a tweet I didn't even necessarily agree with. And So it just caught me off guard. And he had done so much with his health to ensure that he was here right now. He had done so much to battle back from some health issues that he had had in the past. And it was just crazy. I immediately started Googling to see if I could find stories, and sure enough, they all started popping up. And I had to face the reality that this world, that our coaching profession lost another good one. Somebody who still had a lot of years, lots and lots of years to be able to contribute to this world. This is the part that nobody truly prepares you for as you get older. When you really start seeing mortality become an issue, when you really start seeing people that you care about just gone. Like no build up, no, hey, I saw that coming. Just here today, gone tomorrow. And not because somebody took their life, not because of a freak accident, not because of some negligence that they did, but because life decided to life last night. We no longer have Carey McCray. And this world is worse off because of it. I want to say rest in peace to all of the coaches that we've lost here over the last few months, over the last year. Not everybody has a platform that they've created so that they can come on and eulogize someone properly. I would encourage everybody. It is cathartic to talk about loss, even if it's hard. It is important to remember the good stuff about people, even though remembering is hard. We have to flush the heart. The heart is an instrument the same way everything else is. It needs to be flushed. Tear ducts need to be checked to make sure that they are working properly. For some of the stuff that you need tear ducts to operate for that we don't even recognize. So if you got to cry a little bit, that's okay. Flush the system. I met Carey McCray back when I moved back to Tampa back in the early 2010s. I want to say it's early 2010s. I was working the second semester at Tampa Bay Tech High School. Shout out to Coach Rob and those guys down there. And I wasn't even planning on coaching in the spring. And Coach Rob found out I was working there and came and said, hey, man, if you're interested, we could use your help out there. And I said, absolutely, sure. Wanted me to come out, work with the quarterbacks. Got out there, started working with the quarterbacks. He said, hey, our defensive line guy held up at school, won't be able to make it. Would you mind working with the defensive line? No problem. Do whatever you want me to do, coach. Start working with the defensive line, and it's this cool brother, man, working with the offense. Cool as a fan. Laid back, doesn't raise his voice. Nice, smooth delivery. Knows his stuff, and, we get the rapping. It's Coach McCray. Hey, Coach, where you from, man? From Chicago. Word? Man, my roots are back in the Chi as well. So we immediately have a bond that way. Start talking to him. I discover he's a defensive guy working on the offensive side. I'm an offensive guy working on the defensive side. It's very interesting. Dude always had good style, always had tremendous amounts of swagger. Had this little, I think it was a Corvette that he drove. You see him, you know he was keeping that thing around 90 on the interstate and up, like just riding. Lived over in the Clearwater area, would leave school in that area and drive over to Tampa Bay Tech every single day. That's what he did. Anybody who knows anything about Florida football in general, but if you definitely know about Hillsborough County football, you're not making no money. Not making enough to cover the gas cost of a Corvette in the early 2010s, driving from Clearwater to Tampa every single day. Remember, we had talked about it. We had talked about it and said, hey, man, if you ever, get a head gig again, I'll come work for you. If I get one, you come work for me. If I get a head gig, come be my OC, you get a head gig. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa. And we had that as a plan. I know that his ultimate goal, one of the big goals of his, he wanted to be the head person at Robinson High School. That never happened for him, and I believe that was something he really, really, really wanted to do. Thought he had it. He looked at Robinson as a school that was near and dear to his heart, as a school where, it had limitless, untapped potential. He never got a chance to make that happen. When I took a job down in Savannah, the first person I called was Carey McCray. Hey, McCray, got a spot. It's on the beach, so you can still get your sea life on. He loved the good life. He loved the fact that he lived, on the beach, near a beach. That vibe, he was all about it. We tried, man, to make that thing happen, but he just couldn't make it happen. Family, thinking about more than just himself. I'm sure he could have made it happen. I'm sure he could have went to his wife and said, hey, listen, this is what we're doing. And her being supportive would have probably made it happen. But he knew that it was bigger than just him, that he had to take other people into consideration. So we couldn't make that happen. But he said, hey, keep an eye out. You never know. And that didn't get to happen. That was our chance to really work hand in hand together, to really be relying upon each other. And days upon days, we would just talk. And sometimes we would talk football. Sometimes we would talk music. Sometimes we would just talk about people. And there was no subject that he ever made you feel as if he was better than you or that you weren't on his level. There was no time that he made you feel small. He always looked you in the eye. He always gave you his attention. That's why his students loved him. That's why his players loved him. That's why other coaches loved him. So to go to bed to the news that he's no longer with us, it was troubling, because it made me start to think about all the people in my life, either professionally or personally, who are either older than him or his same age. And to know that now I have entered that stage of this is a thing. This is a thing. It could be me. It could be you. It could be someone you love. It could be someone I love. The clock is ticking. And death does not play favorites. Carey McCray lived his life. He lived his life to the fullest. He will be missed to the fullest. But he ran his race. And in my opinion, it's a job well done. Rest easy, my man. I will see you again one day, but hopefully not too soon. Squeeze the ones you love tighter. Tell the ones that you care about that you appreciate them. Live your life to the fullest, because we never know when it's over. We never know when it's over. And if you have dreams, if you have passions, if you have things that you really want to do, now is the time to do them. Don't wait. Don't be reckless, but don't wait. Every step you take should be a step towards making that goal a reality. Because that's all we can do. If there's one thing Carey McCray showed us, is that this thing ain't long for us. So we got to grab it while we can. To all my coaching brothers out there, take care of yourself. We know you putting in these hours. We know you're putting in ridiculous amounts of time. But don't forget to take care of yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated, and if you're joining me, I appreciate it. Send a prayer up for the family of Carey McCray. We love you all out there, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.